Hi, it's Doug. I want you to think back to when you were just a little kid. Maybe you don't even remember it that well. You were so young, and when you were learning to walk, at some point, walking around, you looked down and you noticed for the first time this your shadow. It's all dark, and it seems to keep following you everywhere you go. Some little kids are even scared of their shadow when they see it.
It's your shadow.
Look, look, look! Look, 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 look! Look, look.
And it's not just kids who notice their shadow for the first time. Look at this. This dog is noticing its shadow, and it seems to want to chase it away. I guess shadows are a little scary. They're dark, and they keep following you. As we get older, we all figure out that our shadow isn't something to be scared of. Your shadow's not something you can ever get away from. There's no leaving your shadow behind. Your shadow moves because you move. But could the shadows of other things move? I mean things that aren't alive, like a building shadow. Could it move? Or the shadow of this fence? Or the shadow of this statue? Could a statue's shadow move? Maybe you're thinking, no way. The only way a shadow would move would be if the thing itself moved. And a statue doesn't move. But if the statue moved, now is that the only way for its shadow to move? Could there be another way? Well, I have an idea about how we could find out. Now, sadly, I don't have any great big statues nearby me. But here in the Office of Mystery Science, where I work, we do have this little gnome. And he makes a good statue. His name is Willie. My friend is going to put Willie in the sun, where he makes a shadow. You see his shadow here? My friend is also going to trace Willie's shadow on a piece of paper, so we'll know if his shadow moves. Now, let's leave Willie here for a while. We'll come back and check later to see what happens. While we wait, though, I have a question for you. I sent it to your teacher so that you can read the question together.
How could the state's statue move? That's weird. What do you think? How can the statue move? Let's start our experimenting with a little experiment at home. What I'd like you to do is find a blank piece of paper and an object. They use the paper gnome. Don't use the paper gnome. We need that for something else. But you could do a cup. You could do something that stands up, like a cup, a little toy, a little statue of some sorts. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up in a sunny window. I'll show you in the next clip. So I have my white paper and I've chosen my coffee cup. Now I've put this in a sunny window here in class, but as you can see, the sun is not quite shining all the way through the window, and so it's really hard to see where the shadows are. That just has to do with where the sun is facing and where our classroom is facing. And so I am probably going to have to move this outside. So here I am outside, and you can definitely see the shadow now. Super easy to trace. So you can see my paper's flying. The good news is that my coffee cup is super heavy, so I do not think that my paper is going to be able to fly away. Something you can do is try to tape it down, maybe put a rock on each end. The main thing is you're going to want to keep this here all day. We are going to come check on this guy 3 times. So right now, it's about 9 a.m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace my shadow that my coffee cup made. So you can see it stops blowing around. I did my personal best of tracing my shadow. The next thing you want to do is inside of that line, you want to write the time. So right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to write the time inside. If I get close enough, you can see I wrote 9 a.m. So we're going to leave this guy alone. Do not move him. And we're going to come back and check on him maybe at lunchtime. I think Doug's going to have you come back and check in about 20 minutes, see if anything happened. And then you can also check on him again later on in the day. All right, friends, the first thing you want to do is you want to get this paper out that has these shadows on it. And attached to that should be your little gnome. Please get some scissors. Also, if you would like to color your gnome first, you may do that. You don't have to color your gnome in, but if you want him to look cute and have some colors on him, go ahead and color it first before you glue him down. So once you have him colored, we're going to cut him out. There's a dotted line for you to cut on. You do not need the extra scraps that come off of him, so those can go into the trash or the recycling. I'm just going to set them aside for right now. Go ahead and pause the video if you're not done cutting. If you see where this line is that he's standing on, right below his feet, we want to fold on that line. So you're not folding it up to cover him, you're folding it behind him. What you're going to do, it says teacher tape gnome here. We're going to glue him with a glue stick. So I'm just going to take my glue stick and I'm going to put some glue just inside of this box on my paper. And I'm going to take my gnome and I'm going to put his little stand right inside that box and push down. Now if you folded carefully enough, your gnome will stand up. And some of my paper's a little bit bent, so I'm going to bend it back just a little bit. And hopefully I can get him to stand. There he goes. So you can see that I just kind of moved the paper. I had to crease my crease a little bit. That might be something that you need to get help from a mom or a dad or a parent or whoever, big brother, sister, whoever's at your house. How can I get my gnome to stand up straight up? Mine's pretty straight up, you can see here. Straight up without falling over. So go ahead and pause the video until your gnome is standing straight up on the paper, just like mine. All right, the next step is you want to turn all the lights off if you can, or at least most of them. I still have light coming in from the window here at school, but I turn the lights off in the classroom. So pause the video until you have all the lights turned off. You also want to get a flashlight or even a cell phone or something that casts a light, a bright light. So go ahead and pause the video until you can find some sort of bright light, a cell phone or a flashlight. All right, now that you have the lights off and you have your flashlight, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the flashlight over here. You want to shine the flashlight right in the gnome's face. Okay? And what we want to try to do is shine it on him and make the shadow match the shadow, the first line. So you can see, it might be kind of hard to see. Here's my flashlight. You can see here's shadow number 1. They're in order. 1, 2, and 3. So I want his shadow to fit perfectly in this spot. And so I'm shining it on him, I'm shining it on him. It's not working. Look at the shadow's way over here. Let's see if I move it. Oh, the shadow is over here, but it's too long. I move it. Maybe I can go up towards his head. Maybe I can shine down. Oh, it's starting to get, oh, it's getting smaller. So what I'm doing is I'm lifting my flashlight up. So let's see if I can get it. That looks pretty good. There's shadow number 1. I have to lift my flashlight up and shine it at his head. Then I want to see if I can move my flashlight to shadow number 2. It's a little tricky, you guys. Shadow number 2, there it is, in the middle of it. You see it? And then let's see, can I move it to shadow number 3? Too close to his face. So I got too close, so the shadow got really big. So I moved back, and the shadow got smaller. So you're trying to fit it right in that space. So if I do it again, shadow 1, 2, come on shadow, and 3. So go ahead and pause the video and see if it's a little tricky, you guys, see if you can shine your flashlight and get all 3 shadows in order. How did you make the shadow move and change? I know for me, I had to move my flashlight higher up towards the gnome's head, and then I had to move the flashlight from side to the other side in order to get the shadow to change. What did you have to do?